Slides are visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So in the today's class, we are going to study the cross-field tube, and that is also called as a M-type tube. And in that, we are going to see the magnetron. Okay. So in the last two lectures, or you can say last three lecture, we went through the uh, few topics like the klystron amplifier and reflex klystron amplifier. Now we are going to study the magnetron. So we went through the klystron, okay, klystron amplifier, like reflex klystron, and we will also see the traveling wave tube in the next class. So if you see the traveling wave tube or klystron amplifier, that is also called a linear beam tube. The DC magnetic field, there we have DC magnetic field which is parallel to the DC electric field. So that is used to focus the electron beam. Like we have seen in the reflex klystron, we are having cathode as well as anode, and when we apply the voltage, so as soon as V naught increases, the cathode will be transmitting the electron, or you can say electron will be transmitted from the cathode, and it is going through the gap, and again it is going to the repeller space. So that is electric field and the magnetic field, that is in parallel to each other. Now in the cross field amplifier, the cross field name suggests that, so it is a cross field. There it was parallel, now it is a cross field, that is perpendicular to each other. So cross field tubes derives their name from the fact that DC magnetic field is perpendicular to the DC electric field. So magnetic field and electric field are perpendicular to each other. If I'll tell you, in the magnetron, the electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular, parallel, or not related to each other. So you can say it is perpendicular to each other. And in this tube, we have DC magnetic, which plays a direct role to the RF interaction process. So here DC magnetic field is important, okay, and DC magnetic fields means we have a permanent magnet, so that will provide a magnetic field, DC magnetic field. So we will try to see how the magnetron is look like. In that we can see we have a permanent magnet, and that is having a south and north pole, and that pole will give you the DC magnetic field. So these tubes are called as a M-type tube. This is also called as a cross-field tube or M-type tube. And in cross-field tube, the electron emits by the cathode are accelerated by the electric field and gain velocity. So electron which is emitted by the cathode, so cathode will be there in the center, and from the cathode the electron is emitted, and when electron emitted, that will be accelerated by the electric field. And if it is accelerated, that means it gain a velocity. Because of acceleration, accelerated, it gain a velocity. So acceleration is due to the electric field which is present there, but the velocity which is greater, they may bend their path. So velocity, the electron which is going straight, if there is no magnetic field, if the magnetic field is present, then electron may bend their path due to the magnetic field, interaction of the magnetic field. So there will be interaction space. In that interaction space, when electron travels from from cathode to the anode, at that time we will have the bending of the electron as the magnetic field increases, or magnetic field will be in a sufficient manner. Okay, I hope you understand the things. Now we have a cross field effect. So you can see if the RF field is applied to the circuit, so if RF field is applied to the circuit, those electrons entering the circuit during retarding field are decelerated. So retarding phase, it will be decelerated. So that means they will give up some of their kinetic energy into the RF field. That was there in the klystron oscillator, the reflex klystron. So you might have seen reflex klystron. When we back from the repeller space region, or when we are opposed from the, when the electron is opposed from the repeller, so electron will be, some of the electron may be that is coming out from the gap may be accelerated or decelerated, but after returning they give up some, they give up their energy to the RF field. So that is happening. Now here when we apply RF field into the circuit, so electron which entering to the circuit during the retarding field, they will be decelerated, and where they decelerate, their kinetic energy will be given to, kinetic energy will be converted into RF energy, and their velocity will be decreased, and this lower electron will then travel to the DC electric field far enough to regain essential or the same velocity as before. So as they give up their energy, their velocity will be decreased, and they move further. If they move further due to the DC electric field, they again gain some energy, and if they gain some energy, the velocity will be, maybe they will be come to the uniform velocity, or maybe the velocity will be increased. So because of cross field interaction, the magnetic field and the electric field interaction, only those electrons that have given sufficient energy to the RF field can travel all the way to the anode. So those who have gave up their energy to the RF field, they can travel to the anode, from cathode to the anode after giving their energy. Maybe it may move to the bending path, but those who have given their energy, give up their energy, they can travel. Those who have not given the energy, they can return back. They will be returning back. We will see. This phenomena would make the M-type device relatively efficient. And we say those electrons entering the circuit during the accelerating field. So accelerating field means we were entering with the retarding field, that is decelerated electron. When we have accelerating field, so at a time the electron will be gaining energy. So accelerated by means the receiving enough energy from the RF field. So it is taking energy from the RF field, although here it is giving up their energy, giving up their kinetic energy to the RF field, but here it is taking the energy from the RF field and it is returned back towards the cathode. So I told you it is returning back towards the cathode. This back bombardment of the cathode produces heat in the cathode. So when we say, when these occurs, these back bombardment occurs, or with the electron which is coming backward direction, it is coming back, this will produces heat in the cathode. They will release their energy in terms of heat in the cathode and decrease the operational efficiency. So this should not be, this is not our requirement. Okay, so this back bombardment of the cathode produces heat. When we use this as a heat producer, then this is used. So we can use this cross-field devices like for the heater also, for the heating element. If we use this type of heating element, then this is used. Okay. When we use for other application, so this phenomena will be more seen or more used. So this is the classification of cross-field tube, and in the classification we have a cross-field tube that is also called as M-type tube. Another type we have O-type, linear field tube, linear tubes we can say, that is a O-type tube, that's named as O-type, and classification is also for that also. But we will see here we are having classification for cross-field tube. In that it is divided into 3 categories, like we have a resonant cavities, non-resonant and major effect. If it is a resonant cavity, if it is having cavity which is resonant or resonant kind of a structure, so resonant will give you the standing wave, and in that we have a reentrant cavity, so that will be device is called as a magnetron. If the cavity is of non-resonant, if it is non-resonant cavity, so that will be a forward wave and there will be backward wave. It's categorized into 2 parts, forward wave and backward wave. And forward again we have a reentrant cavity and non-reentrant cavity. So if forward wave is reentrant cavity, if the non-resonant structure having forward wave and reentrant cavity, that is called forward wave crossfield amplifier. It's called as a forward wave crossfield amplifier, and having a non-resonant cavity structure, that is a forward wave non-reentrant cavity, that's called Dematron, the device which is named as the Dematron. And similarly we have a backward wave for the reentrant cavity Amplitron, and non-reentrant cavity Carcinotron, and major effect will give you the Gyrotron. So in that, in our syllabus we are having the magnetron. We will see magnetron in detail. Okay, these are not in our syllabus. If you want, you can go through this. Okay, so now we'll see magnetron oscillator. So magnetron works as an oscillator. So this is invented by Hull. Okay, but it was only on the interesting laboratory devices. So initially it was invented by Hull, the name of the scientist Hull, and it was used only for laboratory purposes. But during the World War II, World War II, many radar application devices that has come, that came. So there was a huge demand for high power microwave generator for radar transmitter. So high power microwave generator. So one of the thing, magnetron is a high power devices, and which is also used as an oscillator. So microwave generator means microwave oscillator. For radar transmitter, we need an urgent need of in World War II. So people were doing the research. Now at the time we had this device that is used in laboratory. So this came into application in the World War II. So magnetron provide microwave oscillation of a very high frequency. So this is providing very high frequency as well as high power. And magnetron consists of two things, that is anode as well as cathode, which is operated under DC magnetic field. That is in between cathode and anode, the magnetic field, or you can say magnet, which is placed, permanent magnet which is placed there. So that is give you the DC magnetic field between anode and cathode. Now because of the cross field between cathode and anode, cross field means electric and magnetic field will be perpendicular to each other. So because of the cross field between cathode and anode, the electron emitted from the cathode, so electron which is emitted out from the cathode are influenced by the cross field to move in a curved path. So because of the magnetic field which is placed between cathode and anode, and you can say we are having the cross field, electric and magnetic field which is perpendicular to each other, so that will give you the electron which is coming out from the cathode, that will be gaining, or that will be influenced by the cross field, and it moved by the in the curved path. So that move in a curved path, electron which is moving in a curved path. But if the magnetic field is zero, at a time we can say the electron is moving in a straight path. So if the DC magnetic field is strong enough, so if magnetic field is strong, the electron will not arrive in the anode, but it not back to the cathode. So consequently at that time we can say anode current is cut off. So see, keep in mind, the magnetic field, if the magnetic field is so strong, so the curve path will be bended in such a way that it is bended towards the cathode again. So it is emitted from the cathode, it is returning back, it is not reaching at the anode side. So it is not reaching at the anode side because of the magnetic field which is placed here, and magnetic field is so strong that is bending towards again towards the cathode and returning back to the cathode, and that is give you the heat produced into the cathode. Sometime if your cathode is not so, cathode material or even the cathode is not so strong, or cooling fan is not there, at a time maybe your device will be burned. It's so strong. Okay, so now magnetron can be classified into three types. We have first type, second and third. First is called negative resistance magnetron or split anode magnetron. Negative resistance means resistance which will be a negative. So we will be having this type of magnetron will have negative resistance between two anode segment, and the efficiency will be low, and that will be used for the lower frequency purposes, low frequency application, that is less than 500 megahertz. So it's not widely used, this type of magnetron, which is not widely used. Maybe if you want, we can use for the laboratory purpose also, but that is not widely used. Now we are having cyclotron frequency magnetron. So there is a cyclotron frequency magnetron. This is having periodic oscillation of electron which is in direction of parallel to the field, and that will be operate under the influence of synchronized between alternating component of electric field. So now see this type of cyclotron frequency magnetron, which can be used for the frequency greater than 100 megahertz. Now 100 megahertz and up to the few gigahertz. Okay, again this is also not widely used for the commercial application, but this third one which is used commercially, that is cavity or traveling wave magnetron. Cavity type magnetron, cavity magnetron, or traveling wave magnetron. So now if we see magnetron, generally magnetron, if we refer, so it is understood that magnetron, we are talking about cavity magnetron, because this is most widely used, and it depends upon the interaction of electron with the traveling electromagnetic field of a linear velocity. So interaction of electron with the electromagnetic field. So we can use, instead of permanent magnet, we can use electromagnet also in that, and using the electromagnet we can achieve the functionality of magnetron in the cavity. So these are customarily referred as magnetron. So this is generally referred as a magnetron. If we say magnetron, that means it is a cavity magnetron or traveling wave magnetron. So this provide oscillation of a very high peak power, and they are useful for the radar applications. Because of the high power we can use for the radar application as well, and many other application also, like microwave oven. So microwave oven, the microwave generator which you use, that is a magnetron. And you might have seen in a microwave oven, we are having a fan which is there. So fan should work to cool down the magnetron, and the magnetron, after the magnetron, the rectangular waveguide which is placed to carry out all the electromagnetic wave inside the oven or inside the cavity, the box we have. So the magnetron, that you might have seen this kind of structure of the oven. So this is your whatever the element which is present here. In that, the top of the panel, we are having we were having a rectangular waveguide which is present here, and in that rectangular waveguide which is connected with the magnetron, and one power supply which is there. So power supply is giving power energy to start the magnetron, and that magnetron will give you the microwave energy which is coming inside this oven, and you're cooking something that is striking on this. So magnetron, which is widely used in the microwave oven also, and radar application we have. So we will go for the cylindrical magnetron. We have different types of magnetron also, but we will go for the cylindrical magnetron. Different types of magnetron, like we have cylindrical magnetron, linear or planar magnetron, coaxial magnetron, voltage tunable magnetron, inverted coaxial magnetron, and other many more. So in that, we are just taking cylindrical magnetron, and it is also called as a conventional magnetron. Is also called a cylindrical magnetron, is also called as a conventional magnetron. And in cylindrical magnetron, we have several reentrant cavities. So what is reentrant cavities? So see, we are having a anode which is present there, and in center we have a cathode. I'll look into the figure. We'll move into the figure, but we are having some kind of anode and cathode. So this is cathode here present. So in that anode, there is a cavities which is there. Okay, there is a, okay, let me take, okay, and in that there is a cavity there is a cavity which is there. So this is this things which is called as a cavity. This is called as a cavity. Again we are having ulta ban gaya tha yahan pe, just correct it. So this is called as a cavity. This is called as a cavity. I'll go to the figure, you will understand. So this is the one kind of figure which is here. So you can see this kind of cavity which is present here. This is the anode assembly which is there. So in the anode we are having different cavities which is present here. This is the cross-sectional view. And in cylindrical magneto several reentrant cavity which is connected to the gap, and sometimes it is also called as a cavity magnetron. So it's a cavity type of structure and a cavity which is reentrant cavity. So it is also called as a cavity magnetron. And in this we are having, see, one of the cavities which is connected to the coaxial output system, and it is connected to the waveguide which is carrying out the energy, microwave energy, RF energy. And this is called anode assembly. This is called cathode, the element which is present here, cathode. And this is a magnetic pole piece, the top and the bottom. We are having magnetic, one is north and one is south, and this is called cathode, and this is the anode assembly. You can see this figure, that was the cross-sectional view. So this is the figure you can see, and in this figure you can understand very efficient way. So this is the anode I'm talking about. This is this one which is called as the anode. In that anode we can see there is the reentrant cavities which is present here. The reentrant cavities which is present here, these are the cavities which is present here. Okay, these are the cavities. These are the cavities which is present here in the anode. So here also it is located here. This is the anode which is there, and just after the anode, cooling fan which is attached to this. So that will be responsible to cool out if heating is produced. So that is responsible to cool out any heating will be taken place, that will be cooled out from the cooling fans. So now we are having magnet which is located here and located here. The magnet which is there, you can see this is the magnet which is located here, and we are having the cathode which is placed at the center. This is the cross-sectional view. You can say this is the zoomed out. So this is the cathode which is taken here, and the cathode here also it is placed as a cathode. After that, cathode and anode which is separated by the ceramic. So that is placed in a just taken as ceramic. And after that we are having, this is the space which is used for carry out all the electromagnetic energy or electron which is traveling, electric field. So when we are having less amount of or we can say when we apply the voltage, the electron will be coming out from the cathode and it will be moving towards, and maybe it will going to the cavities, and few electron will coming out and it is going to the anode side. After the cavity is going to the anode side. So anode side it is coming, but in a bended direction, or you can say not go straight, it may bend because of the magnetic field which is present from the magnet. So that is the diagram of the cavity magnetron. Okay, and that indication which is red one, which is a rough view of path of the electron. Okay, now we can see construction, how it is constructed. So if you see the construction, each cavity in the anode act as an inductor. So see, we are having the cavity, like we are having cavity, in that cavity one is positive, one is negative. So this work as this act as a capacitor. So positive plate and the negative plate, which acts as a capacitor, and this bending of this will produce some current on this wall side. This current will give you the inductance. So there is an inductor, there is a capacitor. So due to the inductor and capacitor, we will get some of the frequency, you can say resonant frequency will get, and that is also called as the resonant cavities. So due to the inductor and capacitor which is present here, inductance and capacitance will get resonant frequency, that is oscillating frequency, you can say. So now you can see here it is written as each cavity in the anode acts as an inductor having only one turn, and the slot containing the cavity and the interaction space act as a capacitor. So the interaction space, interaction between the anode and cathode, you can say the interaction space acts as a capacitor. So these two form a parallel. So parallel resonant circuit means we are having a capacitor or we are having an inductor. So parallel resonant circuit it will form. So F is equal to 1 by 2 pi root under LC, that will be there for the FR, resonant frequency. Okay, so depends on the value of L and the capacitor, there will be some resonant frequency. The frequency of microwave generated by the magnetron oscillator depends on the frequency of RF oscillation existing in the resonant cavity. So it depends on the RF oscillation, it depends on this frequency, the magnetron oscillator frequency, that depends on these frequencies, resonant frequency. Okay, and you can see, if you see the cross-sectional view, when I was told, I told you that we are having the cathode, or we are having anode, this segment which is called as anode, and this is called cathode. Due to the magnetic field, stable magnetic field, the electron will be bended. The electron which we are traveling in a straight line, that will be bended, and it is bended, is coming towards the cathode. When magnetic field is strong enough, at a time the bending will be more and it will be bending back, it will be coming back. So there again the cross-sectional view, you can see everything which is I dictated you, that is represent frequency of resonance, which is given by 1 by 2 pi root under 1 by LC. There is a parallel which is given as the cavity exhibit resonance analogous to the parallel resonant circuit. So that is nothing but a capacitor which is parallel to the inductor. Now if you see this figure, I already told you that this is basically the charge at one end plays a role of a capacitor. So this to act as a capacitor, it will be used as a capacitor, and this is the current due to this act as a, this will play a role of inductor. Now if you see working principle, okay, if you see the working principle, so working principle, you can see we are having one kind of a structure, that is 2D view, it is written here. If it is not clear, let me write, this is A and this is kind of B which is given here, and this is the path which is C here, and this may path is D. Okay, not an issue. So magnetron is a cross-field device. If we see the working principle, as the electric field between the anode and cathode is radial, whereas magnetic field produced by a permanent magnet is axial. So axial means it is coming from the one side to the another side. So that is in axial direction, axis, and electric field which is coming, that will be radial direction, that will coming out from this cathode pole. So that is in radial direction. A high DC potential can be applied between the cathode and anode, which produces a radial electric field. So due to the potential which is applying, I told you that in microwave oven we are applying the a voltage, or you can say current, a power from the power supply. So you can say a high DC potential can be applied between the cathode and anode. And if we apply high potential between cathode and anode, that means the electron which is traveling and electron which gain the electric field, the energy which is getting. So potential energy will become kinetic energy, the electron will gain a kinetic energy, and it will travel towards the anode side, which is coming out from the cathode. So it will maybe towards the radial direction, a radial electric field. Depending on the relative strength of the electric and magnetic field, the electron emitted from the cathode or moving towards the anode will traverse through the interaction space. So traverse through the interaction space. So it is traveling from the interaction space, from the cathode towards the interaction space. And in this interaction space, how the behavior of electron, it depends on the strength of the magnetic field. So it will move towards A direction, it will towards B direction, it will towards C direction, or it will towards D direction. Which direction it is moving? Although it is moving towards radial direction, but is radial means all direction it is coming radial. In 2D I cannot see. Yeah, the radial direction is coming out, but radial means it is going towards all the cavity, but maybe it may bend. So bending depends on the field of the strength of the magnetic field. So in the absence of magnetic field B equal to 0, so if magnetic field is 0, the electron travels straight from the cathode to the anode due to the radial electric field force acting on it, as given by the path A in the following figure. So you can see it is directly straight, it is moving, no bending, it is straight, it is moving. Okay. Now if we have slightly increased, or just from B equal to 0 to B equal to something, some finite value. So if magnetic field strength is slightly increased, the lateral force bending the path of the electron as given by path B. So that will be bended, that is bending, that is indicated by path B. Now if you slightly more increase, so your path will be C, and if you have more strength, so it will come out again, it will reverse back, not going to the more into the interaction space. Okay. So if your strength of the magnetic field is made sufficiently high, then the electron can be prevented from reaching the anode as indicated in path C of the figure. So maybe it is shown here, it is reaching, it is not reaching, it is coming out from this, made slight enough, so it may come from this point and it may reach to again C. This is a path C, it is not going to the anode side. And if it is very high, then at a time it coming out and it is the path D will be there. So the magnetic field required to return electrons back to the cathode, or just you can say back to the cathode, just gazing at the surface of the anode. So if you say back to the cathode or just gazing at the surface of the anode, just यहीं पे घूम रहा है वो, at a time we can say just gazing at the surface of the anode, that is called as a critical magnetic field. Okay, that is also called cutoff magnetic field. So cutoff magnetic field means after this magnetic field, your electron will be reverting back, or electron will be moving backward direction. Your bending is so much, your bending is increased. So this is called as a cutoff magnetic field. So what is cutoff magnetic field? At the magnetic field at which the electron will be just returning back to the cathode, or you can say it is just grazing the surface of the anode, that is called as a critical magnetic field. Now the various motion of the electrons or you can say, sorry, you can say if the magnetic field is larger than the critical magnetic field, if B is greater than BC, means it is a high magnetic field. So the electron experiences greater rotational force and may return back to the cathode quite faster. That is D, which is shown here, path D. Okay. The various motion of electrons in the presence of different magnitudes of the magnetic field can be viewed the following figure. So you can see we are having the figure which is given here, and in this figure it is see the cathode which we are having, and cathode is radially, it is sending radially outward direction, all is going radially outward. So when we apply, there is no magnetic field. When there is no magnetic field, the electron travels directly to the anode block in a radial path. So radially it is going. Anode block, it is going, this is anode, okay, this is cathode. Okay, so this is cathode. The resonant cavity in the anode block are biased at DC 0. Okay, and cathode is biased as some voltages, typically minus 10 kilovolt, maybe some voltage which is biased. Now if you say with a magnetic field applied perpendicular to the plane of the drawing, so if you take magnetic field perpendicular to the applied electric field, the electron now travels in a strongly curved path and induce an EMF, electromagnetic field, in the anode block. So it will give in the bended. Okay, so that is the thing. So that is all about the working of a magnetron. Now we'll see the application which is used in the radar for high power application, or you can say, and high frequency application, high frequency microwave generator, okay, and it is also used in microwave oven, and it is also used in the lamp. In the lamp it can be used for the heating element. So sulfur lamp, we have sulfur, in the sulfur lamp we can use this magnetron. Okay, now what are the advantage of this magnetron? So magnetron is a fairly efficient device, and we can use effectively if the construction is in a proper manner. And the combination of a small cavity magnetron and the small antenna and high resolution allowed, and high resolution, you can say, just eliminate this. So if you are having combination of small cavity magnetron and a small antenna, high quality radar that can be installed in aircraft. So now what is the disadvantage? It is costlier and limited in use. We cannot use very widely. We cannot use for the different purposes. So that is costlier, but that is very efficient. Or efficient means you can say the efficiency is good. So where cost is not an issue, we can use this magnetron devices. So cavity magnetron are used because they generate a wide range of frequency. A frequency is not precisely controllable. So we can use different frequencies for different we can use this magnetron for different frequencies. And frequency we cannot here control because it depends on the resonant frequency of the cavity. Okay, so frequency of the resonant cavity, if the frequency of resonant cavity is controlled, then at that time we can say this magnetron is working perfectly. Okay, so that is all about magnetron. You can go through this. I'll give you the PPT. You can go through this, and whatever I taught you, that is enough for the magnetron. In the next class, we are having traveling wave tube. Okay, so we will see traveling wave tube in the next class. If any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise, I will stop here. Okay. If any doubt, please let me know.